Hello, my name is Kenzie Hill, and my persuasive speech is called Buckle Up or Not. When getting in a car or truck, what's the first thing that we are supposed to do but tend to forget often? It's a law now that each individual has to wear their seatbelts every time they step foot in a vehicle. No one wakes up thinking that they will lose a loved one in a car crash that day, although it's supposed to be a safe and helpful to prevent the numerous amounts of deaths involved in accidents. Is this true that seatbelts will save your life? Well, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, seatbelts are the most effective safety device for preventing death and injury. Wearing a seatbelt can reduce the risk of crashes injuries by 50%. They save lives. To me, a seatbelt is a 50-50 chance of living in an accident or dying. Others often say that seatbelts pin people in a car, and if they didn't have a seatbelt on, that they would have lived. This is just one's opinion, as it is mine to say that a seatbelt can and will save lives. If you have ever been involved in a car wreck without wearing a seatbelt, then you would understand my philosophy and importance of this safety feature. What's the effective reason that it is a law to wear a seatbelt? Shouldn't it be one's decision to buckle up or not? These are questions that most individuals ask. The law states that in Kentucky, it is required that all passengers in a vehicle wear their seatbelts at all times in all ages. When getting pulled over without a seatbelt in Kentucky, you are fined $25 for each person that is in your vehicle who is not wearing a seatbelt. These are two safety requirements that different states use, primarily safety and secondary safety. Nationally, states with primary safety belt laws have 88% driver safety belt usage, while those with secondary enforcement have only 75%. That's by the National Safety Council. Kentucky's requirements are for more primarily safety. This means that police can stop vehicles and write citations for failure to buckle up. Although the other 18 states are under secondary enforcement, meaning police can only issue a ticket to the driver if the vehicle is stopped for any reason. When getting pulled over and having to pay not only one ticket, but having to pay a $25 for every single passenger in the vehicle who isn't wearing a seatbelt as well, wouldn't that change the outlook on wearing a seatbelt when driving the next time you get in a car? It's every child's vision to get in the vehicle without wearing a seatbelt, or trying to find the most possible way to get up front. For an example, the little boy in this book is questioning his mom. Every animal has to wear a seatbelt or helmet. The little boy asks his mom, "Mom, if we were kangaroos, would I have to wear a seatbelt when you took me for a hopping ride?" Safety of wearing a seatbelt is something that children should learn and understand while at a young age. This will help them when they get older, as it will just be a routine when they start driving themselves. It's not just adults that have to suffer the consequences of not wearing a seatbelt. Children are at just as high of a risk to get hurt as anyone else. Motor vehicle crashes are the #1 cause of death for children and young adults at ages 5 to 24, and the second cause of death of adults from 25 and older for toddlers, according to the Centers for Disease and Control. Being a driver for the past 5 years or so, I can honestly say that wearing a seatbelt was not the first thing on my mind either when stepping foot into a vehicle until being involved in an accident. It's not always you who is going to overcorrect or cause the crash. You have to look out for others on the road as well. The day I was involved in a wreck that was caused by a car pulling out in front of my friend, that day I realized how precious life was, and that one simple task of putting my seatbelt on as soon as I stepped foot in a vehicle became a priority to me. It's up to us to risk getting killed, getting a ticket, or even wearing a seatbelt. Although it's a law, people should be able to make their own decisions And if they're traveling with children, they should make the decision for them, the right decision. What's the difference in wearing a seatbelt in a car or truck, but not on a school bus? It's just as risky for children as it is for anyone else. So, are you going to buckle up or not when you get in the vehicle next? Thank you.